Marlon Bray, Clark Construction Management, and I am the Executive Vice President. I'd say tariffs have now become the least of the problems. The bigger challenge is around taxes and fees. So taxes and fees in particular are a challenge, especially on the multi-res side of things. Tariffs, a lot of people have found workarounds to avoid them. So it's the buy Canada model or buy elsewhere. So I think initially they probably caused quite a bit of scare, but the actual impact has been fairly moderate. Other than outside, obviously people don't have jobs, they can't buy real estate or spend money. That's where the bigger challenge comes. So it depends on where you are in Canada. So we're in Toronto today. Toronto today, it's actually getting faster and cheaper. Because the residential market's tanked, basically we can build stuff now a lot quicker, and we can build it for a lot lower cost, 20–30% lower, and probably 10% quicker. Now, if you're in Halifax, it'd be a different discussion because the market's busy. So it sort of changes depending where you are in terms of the housing crisis and that recovery, and that impact goes across industrial, office, commercial as well, just because the market is so slow right now, in particular the GTA. Well, again, it's kind of funny. The skilled labour gap today is not where it was yesterday, but it's still a problem. So right now there's thousands of people being laid off because the market slowed. The challenge is that path of retirement is still going to carry on. So when the market comes back here, there's going to be a shortage of labour, and that's what we've seen. A lot of the labour here has gone to, say, Alberta, that's busier, and that labour will move across Canada where it needs to go for the market, but it might not come back. So a lot of people, in terms of strategy, there's quite a lot of work in the background around training, around getting kids out of school to go and stuff like that. That started years ago, but it's still going to take a long time to come. There was an attempt to focus immigration. Obviously, that's become a little bit more complicated now, but the skilled worker shortage is probably going to be a lot worse when we go forward 10 years than today, when we're in this moment of time where it looks like there's no problem, but that's because there's no limited construction. Well, I think with land, basically the challenge right now is there's not a lot of transactions. So it's become very hard to actually figure out what land should be worth, other than using, say, a residual land calculation. That spits out a number that's not friendly, therefore people don't want to sell the land. So it's become trickier, and again, it's very geographic specific, but in the GTA in particular, land prices are off by as much as 50%, but people don't want to necessarily admit they're off by 50%. So we're in this weird moment in the market now where everyone had the joke survive till 2025. Well, now everyone survived till 2025, now it's basically patience. But we don't know if it's patience for 1, 2, or 3 years until things come back and normalize. But site selection right now for projects that want to build is very critical because the market is so tricky to maneuver around. You've got to get that perfect site if you're going to go forward with the project. So a lot of people are focused very much on transit, that sort of thing that's critical, and where renters are going to want to go because the market shifted that direction. On tariffs, the strategy started a while ago. Last time tariffs came in, and I think companies looked at de-risking the supply chain then. So things like Buy Canadian, looking at alternate sources of materials. I think that's already in place to a degree. So yes, there was an impact, but the level of impact wasn't as bad as sort of first time tariffs was spoken about. And I think the fear's been a lot less. Also, the market's been so frothy, it's sort of got a little forgotten. In terms of skilled trades, there's little things being done, but nothing that'll actually shift. And I think right now we're in this false sense because of where the market is, that there's enough available labor. But when you start looking forward 4 or 5 years, that's when the problem's really going to start. So there are a number of attempts to try and increase the amount of skilled labor in the market. It's now waiting to see because it takes years for these things to have an impact or an effect.